All right, we're back. It's Matt and Tamsin. Why hasn't he called? We're here to answer all your relationship questions.
And talk about love.
And talk about love because we're in love. We are a married couple. That was cheesy. Did you like that?
That's Gary singing, not us.
Anyway, so it's a call.
Or anyone we know.
It's a call-in show, so we're here to solve all the problems of your love life. So,
and keep it G-rated.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody wants to get married these days.
That's what we're finding out. Why does anybody want to get married? That's the big question right now. So we're having one girl after another. We have a dating service, a date coaching service, a matchmaking service. And we're finding out that the men don't ask the women to marry them. They just date forever.
And we are actually writing a second book called Why Hasn't He Proposed?
So is it because they don't want to lose money? Or is it because they
don't have any? I don't have any money.
Maybe that's the problem.
Right. So, this is a very...
I'm down on my knees proposing to you, but you're already married.
Oh, Gary.
This is a very big subject. Anyway, how many people would marry for money out there? How many people would... Interesting, huh? How many people marry for money, they don't believe in love, and they think that passion fades in a marriage?
Well, I think passion can come and go in a marriage, don't you think?
Not
ours, of course.
Not at all. Once you get involved, sex declines a lot of time.
You think?
Well, not ours, of course. But I've heard that can happen. So,
all right, so let's talk about why don't men want to get married? Give me some of the top reasons.
Because
they don't want to end up divorced.
Commitment absolutely terrifies them, and one piece of ass for the rest of their life.
G-rated.
One piece of tail for the rest of their life terrifies them, and we need variety. Remember, in the old days, we used to run around and grab women.
Propagate the species. We don't want to hear.
We used to grab women, drag them in the cave 3 and 4 times a day, different women. But society has created these.
Oh, thank God! It's Scott from Canada to save me. Hi, Scott. How are you tonight?
Hello, Tamsin. How's it going? How's everyone today?
Good.
I have a good reason why I wouldn't get married again.
Okay. How many times?
I'm not going to have any more kids. And really, marriage is an institution created in society in order to facilitate the raising of children. If we were just, back in the jungle, everyone would be running around, a woman would get pregnant, and then she would have to raise this child over this long course of time. And we can't really have that. So we have, these types of relationships, and marriage is to facilitate the health and welfare of the offspring of any relationship. Given I'm not going to have any more children, I see no compelling reason in order to get married. And in fact, marriage itself...
Scott, you talk too much, but what you say is genius. I'm going to say that I couldn't agree any more. That is a very, very good explanation of marriage.
Scott talks too much?
Well, yeah. I think that society...
No, I love Scott.
I think that society, what you said is true. It's an artificial institution that the male species cannot act well in. The male species cannot.
Let me ask you this though:
function
do you still
in that
be committed, though,
artificial
Scott?
Institution.
But Scott, do you still believe in being committed to one person, or are you saying, because that's what marriage is basically? Are you saying you're just not into commitment either, or what's the difference?
Definitely, you can have commitment, but marriage doesn't actually bring that commitment. You have to have that commitment, and getting married is just a way in which you can express further that you are married. And actually, I think marriage is a very poor institution myself because it's an open-ended contract without any exit clauses. So what happens is 2 people, when they get divorced, they usually go to war with each other because they're angry and they're feeling hurt. And then all of a sudden now they're going to talk about how they're going to dispose of the goods and property, and it turns into a fight. And more often than not, it affects the children, and parents fight over the children and use children. So it actually is worse. I always suggest to people, set up that prenuptial agreement. When you're in love with that person, you sit down and you actually write those exit clauses. What's going to happen upon our divorce? What happens if it doesn't work out? Because you always have to be prepared for the worst case scenarios. People go,
Scott, marriage is like the union. Like the union that everybody, contractors union, electrician union, they don't have to work. and they still get paid. When you get married, the bar drops, and people do not give each other their best because they think that they are legally bound, and that is very true. Good point.
Yeah, and also, if you think that you're legally bound and you don't know what these exit clauses are, we find that people actually perpetuate their relationships beyond where it's actually healthy for them because they don't have these clear exit clauses. And, you know, you should establish what your boundaries are and what your boundaries are when you're going to separate, because relationships are about respecting boundaries. And we lose that when we just say, I'm just going to love you and that's going to last forever, and then things fall apart.
Thanks for the call, Scott. That's great information.
Come here and work for us.
Yeah, or work with us, actually. Anybody else? Let's have some comments. Let's.
Okay, so here's one. 4 keys to less torture for a married guy. Number 1, yes, dear. Number 2, that's right, dear. Number 3, I'm sorry, dear. And number 4, it's all my fault.
And number 5,
I'd like you to remember that.
Number 5, goodbye, dear. Jan from California. Sorry.
Yes, we're the sunny, hot California today. You know, I've been married for 31 years to the same person, and I think it's interesting. My parents, I think I told you guys many moons ago when you first started that my parents had been married for 56 years, and had known each other only 11 days. Our impression of marriage today is really, it's really shameful that people do not make the commitment. And feel, I mean, I think that people are very selfish, and it's a me attitude that they have. And when you say that they don't want to make a commitment, look at all the women and men having babies. Like, let's look at Hollywood itself. All the couples having babies. I mean, Brittany's little sister just had another baby, or not another one, but had a baby.